What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, look, you've been waiting to see a secret rare from New Hero. And I know that because I've been waiting to see a secret rare from New Hero. Well, wait no longer, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got Daemon. Which, I'm sorry, I was unaware of this Digimon, but the fact that they basically called it Demon, but they've added in with the Mon, because all Digimon have Mon at the end, that is some genius level naming right there, and I am a big fan. But what we've got here is the first secret rare to be revealed from New Hero. We've been waiting a little bit of a while. Is it worth the wait? Is it something worth getting a little bit hyped up about? Or is it going to be just a little bit disappointing? Well, our translation today comes from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming and the lovely folks over at DigimonCard.dev. And when they agree, you know we've got a pretty good translation. And is it worth the hype? Yeah, might be. Might be, ladies and gentlemen. What we've got here is a 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. So pretty much in line with the 11 free 11 we expect. And I know it's a 12 cost to play, not an 11. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to be Digivolving into this. It's got a really good Digivolution skill, so no, it's not an 11 cost to play. But no, you really shouldn't care. You'll be fine. And what we've got here are a couple of skills. Firstly, when Digivolving, trash the top 2 cards from your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon. If 4 or more cards were trashed using this effect, you may play a level 5 or lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. Nice. You see, there's a lot going on here. It's basically all good. Now look, trashing 2 cards on the top of your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon, that can backfire. Remember, one of the win conditions in the Digimon TCG is if your opponent is unable to draw a card during their draw card phase. If they can't do that, you win the game. And if your opponent's playing a proper Swarm deck, and they've got like 10 Digimon out, then all of a sudden you're going to be trashing 20 cards from the top of your deck. We don't really have deck out in a Digimon TCG. It's not an archetype at the moment. Decking out just isn't a thing. We don't have the cards. It is in other card games, and I'm willing to bet at some point we will have milling archetypes. But as it stands at the moment, the cards we've got in the game, it's just not a thing. We just don't have deck out. But even having said that, there comes a point, especially in purple, where South milling is a thing. There does come a point where if I get rid of too many cards from the top of my deck, after having gotten rid of a bunch already, that I might actually be in trouble. And I'm not saying this is a reason not to play the card, it's clearly a great card, but I am saying that this is a card where you need to be a little bit careful. Generally, you're not going to South mill enough, and your opponent isn't going to have enough Digimon out on the field to make it really something to worry about, but I am telling you that it is something to bear in mind, something to consider, something to just, be aware of, I think is fair to say. But that's only focusing on the negative. What about the positive? We can go right back to BT1, well, BT2, but Booster 1.0 for us, and have a look at Impmon. That's the one where when it's deleted, you trash the top 2 cards of your deck, and I've told this story on the videos many times before, but essentially, when it was first revealed, I said, trashing the top 3 cards of your deck, don't know about that. But then we realised that purple plays from the trash a lot. There are a bunch of cards that let you play Digimon from the trash without paying cost. And actually, yeah, purple love milling and then playing from the trash. And for that reason, it's great. And here it's just that, but way, way more. We could look at the Cherubimon from BT7, that when Digivolving, you may play a purple tamer from your trash without paying its memory cost, which sounds pretty good. And then on deletion, for each tamer you have in play, you may play a level 3 Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. That's a nice example of a card that plays from the trash and really wants a bunch of stuff in the trash. Back in BT2, we had Metal Garurumon that let you play a level 3 from your trash without paying its memory cost. And Piedmon that let you play 2 level 4 or less purple Digimon without paying their cost when played effects did not activate. And you know what? You might be seeing a little bit of a theme here. Because the theme essentially is, firstly, these are level 3 and 4. They ain't level 5. And secondly, play skills ain't activating. And then if we turn around and remind ourselves what Daemon's doing here, it is level 5. Level 5 totally counts. And neither Ensan Gaming nor DigimonCard.dev are telling us that it's limited to not using play skills. And I've looked at the card and compared it to other cards. Play skills totally work here. So I'm using a level 5 Digimon, and you can go lower, but like I've said, there are other Digimon that will get lower than level 5. So really the hook of this is getting the level 5s. And now I'm playing them and I'm getting my play skill at the same time. And now things are getting very, very interesting indeed. This is something that's making me pretty gosh darned awesome. Because, I don't know, maybe something like Mummymon? Because Mummymon, when you're attacking, you can pay free memory to play a Malamyotismon from your trash without paying its memory cost, and then delete Mummymon. So essentially here, you use this to play Mummymon for free, and then you get rid of Mummymon to replace it with a Malamyotismon, and you've essentially just paid free memory for that. And because you're milling, the chances of actually ending up with your Malamyotismon and your Mummymon in their trash are actually way, way higher. See where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see where we're going with this? And that's why this is so gosh darn good. It is opening up options which we are generally not expecting to have. The South Milling can absolutely be good. Playing a level 5 is good. And then, of course, once you're playing level 5s, it is opening up just crazy good combos like Mummymon that can really go nuts. And of course, the new Malamyotismon I showed you the other day, that is a nuts card. When you play it, if you've got 5 or more cards with Myotismon in its name in your trash, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and trash the top card of your opponent's stack. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And you're going to have a bunch of cards with Myotismon in their name in your trash if you play this, because you're doing all the South Milling. See where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? It is redonk. And that's just one example of a combo which I particularly like. Believe me, there are about 1 billion more. Oh yeah, and that's not everything. Because when you are attacking, limited to once per turn, for every 10 cards that you have in your trash 3 cards on the top of your opponent's deck, and this Digimon gets an extra 3,000 power for the turn. So when I said it's an 11,000 power Digimon, it is. But really, that's just when you're being attacked. On your opponent's turn. On your turn, assuming you attack with this early enough, you're going to be a 14,000 power Digimon. And a free cost of Digimon, 14,000 power Digimon, that lets you play a card for free, which you shouldn't really be able to play for free. Brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant. I should just be super clear about this. When you're playing the level 5 or lower for free, it is only if 4 or more cards are trashed using the effect. I.e., if your opponent has 0 or 1 Digimon in play, and you Digivolve into Daemon here, you're not actually trashing 4 cards, so you don't get the skill. But come on. Firstly, that's very rarely going to happen. And secondly, if it does happen, you should still feel pretty good about this because your opponent's got a terrible board state. Now here, we're actually milling our opponent. Now I said earlier in the video that milling is not really an archetype in a Digimon TCG as it stands at the moment, and I meant it. It's not. But that doesn't mean that milling can't be annoying. I don't think we're really going to do enough milling here to make it a legitimate archetype. And I don't think we've got enough milling cards as it stands at the moment to really start getting excited about this as a potential milling future of the game. One day, not today. I do, however, think that, trashing 3, 6, 9, 12... not 15. If you're milling 15 cards, you've got your entire deck in your trash, and that's a bad thing. But, milling realistically 3, 6, or maybe 9 at the higher end cards, Yes. Now also bearing in mind there is a combo between the skills here, because when I Digivolve up I'm milling myself a bunch, and that means there's more cards in my trash, which means I'm going to be milling more from my opponent when I attack, and it is a when attacking skill. And I don't know if I'm necessarily going to mill to the point where my opponent runs out of cards, although if I'm milling 9 cards 3 or 4 turns in a row, that is a legitimate thing. I still don't think it's going to work that much, but it is a legitimate option here. But even if I'm not properly milling them out, that's not really the point here. Because every time I mill a little bit, my opponent loses some options. I get rid of 6 of their cards. Well, that's 6 cards they're not going to draw into. Sure, against other purple decks, I'm actually maybe helping them out because they want to play from the trash. But against your average deck? No, ladies and gentlemen. No, they don't want to be milled. And that's my advantage here. There will, I think, actually be games where you can legitimately mill your opponent, but I don't think making an archetype that relies on milling is particularly sensible with the format and the card pool we've got at the moment. I do think having it as a good advantage is great, and I don't think it is actually about milling until you win. It is about milling to get rid of your opponent's options. It's about milling so that they don't draw into that level 6 because they don't have the level 6 because that level 6 just ended up in their trash. That's what I'm getting excited about. And of course the first skill is nuts. I could give this 5 wassies, but I feel like it might be slightly redundant. The only thing that's important is this card is absolutely nuts. We finally saw a secret rare, and it was totally worth the wait. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassi Plays.